Alright then. Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen, folks. Hopefully, you guys can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to my live stream. Let me start out by saying hello and horns up once again. Super glad you could be here for the live stream. I'm extremely grateful that you're here and willing to spend your Saturday night with me. I did not actually plan to go live at all in the coming weeks, but my wife decided to go to her parents' house today. And I'm not a very social person, so I don't really have too many friends. And I was alone at home, and I was like, what can I do with my time? And obviously, I'm always looking for any excuse to not play my guitar. But I also thought I'd like to spend some time with my friends over here on Headbangers Kitchen's YouTube channel. So I said, let's do a live stream and hopefully there'll be a few people and we can make an evening of it. So I've got my water and I've also got a very bad idea, which is coffee, and it's not decaf. So hello everyone, welcome to my rather spontaneous live stream. I can see a whole bunch of you here and I'm very glad that you are able to be here. So yeah, let's let's start with the title of the live stream. Are you still keto? I am curious to know how many of you are still on the keto diet. And if you are not on the keto diet, please consider this a very safe space where you can tell us whatever diet you're on. No judgment from me or from anybody else. I've always prided myself on the live and let live ethos. And, as long as you're doing something that works for you and you're not hurting anyone else, I'm okay with it. And I should have no reason to not be okay with it. And so I'd love to know. I mean, obviously, some of you said you are keto, some of you have switched over to low carb, some of you cycle on and off keto, some of you are struggling to get back to keto. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all a journey, and at the end of the day, the destination is unfortunately death for all of us. So, your sort of. Your lifestyle changes or your diet and your weight loss journey and all of your fitness goals and all of that only kind of stops when you die. It's a bit morbid a thought, but well, it is true. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. So for the few of you who may not be on keto, maybe on low carb, I'm curious to know if you guys still regularly watch Headbangers Kitchen videos. Something actually, it was a conversation I had on Instagram with somebody about this. Is like, so like do you folks, like, when you stop doing keto or you take a break from keto, do you like stop watching or consuming the keto videos that you would say normally watch? So curious to know if you not doing the keto diet means you don't watch any of the videos on the channel anymore, or something like that. I'm just curious. I'm a curious person. What can I say? Because I do know a lot of people have shifted to like carnivore diet, for example, and a lot of my recipes would probably never be of any use to somebody on carnivore, especially the newer. I mean, most of the recipes, and obviously, congratulations to everyone who's been able to achieve weight loss, keep it off, get better with their health and all that. So, yeah. Of course, I know we have a couple of intermittent fasters here as well. So, how is everybody doing? Thank you, Mary. Chef John is one of my inspirations, definitely, when it comes to YouTube and YouTube recipes. I can definitely say I've picked up some of his style, and he's a legend, like absolute legend. Right, that makes sense. And thank you guys for sharing all your opinions and your thoughts with me. I do appreciate it. Um, so, I don't know if this is the right time or the right place to probably talk about something controversial. I don't know, because I like I said, this live stream was kind of spontaneous. So I didn't have an agenda when I decided to set it up. But I thought, I'd check and see how everyone is doing. Am I still doing keto? No. If you've been following the channel, which is obviously something that a lot of you are doing, but obviously I think the videos don't reach everybody. But anyway, the point is that I actually haven't been doing keto for 2 years now, and I found something that is more sustainable for me. So I prefer to stick to that at this point, which is just eating everything in moderation. In fact, I started a new weight loss series called My Unimpressive Weight Loss Transformation, which is exactly what it sounds like. But I upload new videos every Friday for that, and I guess Mondays are my keto recipes day. Keto recipe Monday is the day I upload keto recipes. As long as it's not political or religious. Well, unfortunately, as even though it's not actually political or religious in nature, unfortunately, the root cause of most of this world's problems are religion and politics. So it would show its face slightly, but like, if I mean, it's not the kind that would get me to say like this particular politician or this particular religion is a problem. Like, it's not about that. It's not in depth into religion and politics. It's about food, um, specifically food's ingredients. Do I miss being on keto? Not at all. And the truth is, like I've said before as well, I never got any benefit from keto apart from weight loss. I was, I guess I am and have been as healthy as I could be at the current weight that I am. So, in terms of having some kind of ailments or pains or sleep problems or any, problem as such, I never had any. So, there was nothing for keto to really fix apart from my weight. And as I learned over the years, there's a lot more to weight loss than just the number on the scale. So while I did enjoy eating, certain foods on keto and getting to eat those delicious fatty cuts of meat without any guilt and without having to think about calories because I completely eliminated carbs, it did not allow me, it gave me other issues, as in the whole restriction part of it, of not eating carbs for someone who really likes carbs and is actually I'm a food lover, I'm a chef, my entire career revolves around food. So to cut out a food group completely from my diet, just it didn't make sense for me. How to eat more protein in the Indian vegetarian diet? Well, if you're talking specifically about just vegetarian and not keto specifically, I mean, look, you can get the basic nutrients from lentils and paneer and tofu and stuff like that, and sprouts. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can actually get in the protein, but it's hard to get. Like, if you are somebody who's like 6 feet tall and you need like 150 grams of protein a day, yeah, it's going to be super, super difficult. In that case, you just need to supplement with protein powder. Because honestly, like, if you're doing keto, it's very different. So if you're vegetarian and keto, then actually, despite the number of protein sources being lower in number, like the available protein sources being less than, say, what a meat eater has, you still can find it easier to hit your goals. Because look at something like eggs, for example. Eggs are 6 grams of protein only, which is actually not a lot compared to the fact that it has 5 grams of fat along with it. So when you're not on a high fat diet, an egg on its own is a decent source of protein and a decent source of dietary fat, but it's definitely not a high protein source. It is, if you eat like an egg with some toast and some vegetables and all, then you have a balanced meal, good amount of fat, protein, and carbs in that meal if you're not doing keto. But as a high protein source, only like when you go into that space of eating egg whites only, that's when it becomes high protein, because you remove the fat and then you can consume a lot more. So for example, they say if you're doing, looking to build muscle, you want to have about 20 to 25 grams of protein every meal. Now, 2 eggs will give you 12 grams of protein. It's not bad, but it's not as much as you would like probably. In which case, if you were to eat 4 egg whites, you would get 24 grams of protein. so that way, like, the egg is got its pros and cons as well. When we're talking about paneer, for example, paneer, again, it has 19 grams of protein, but I think it has got like 22 grams of fat, which again, if you're doing keto, it's absolutely fine. It's fantastic. It's a good balance of fat and protein. But if you are trying to do a high protein diet, then there's too much fat in comparison to the protein. So then you have to try and find like a low fat paneer, which is lower in fat but higher in protein. So there are ways to wing this, but yeah, it's not the easiest. Awesome. Thank you all for sharing your stuff with me. Let me see if I missed any interesting questions that I could answer. Keto got a lot easier with Costco in the USA. All right, so I didn't see too much interest in my controversial topics, so maybe I won't discuss that on this live stream. Absolutely, like I've said before, you guys, you got to find what works for you. Some of you just carbs don't work, some of you keto doesn't work, some of you high protein doesn't work, some of you carnivore doesn't work, some of you vegan doesn't work. It's all yeah. They say egg whites are inflammatory. I highly doubt that. Look, I think if at all, so here's the thing. A lot of these statements, and this is a general thing that happens in the world, people love to cherry pick. So I'll say this, look, normal people, average people, society at large doesn't want too much information. Most people can't even process too much information. And everybody's looking for the clickbait headline. So a lot of people will take studies, and there are lots of parameters. So when somebody says, we did a study saying egg whites are inflammatory, what are the parameters of the study they conducted? How many people were part of that study? What were the other parameters? So for example, if the study was, say, 5 people who were maybe, say, obese to begin with, and they had egg white only and they got inflammation, that doesn't necessarily mean egg whites will cause inflammation for everybody. So it's very important whenever you are quoting studies or you're reading information, like for that, I think there was this whole thing about how bacon causes cancer. And again, it was simply the context of a study taken out of, it was simply results of a study taken out of context. Like for example, if you had a 1% chance of getting cancer in your life and bacon made it 2%, and the headline would read, bacon doubles your chances of getting cancer, but they're not telling you that it's only 2% chance of cancer. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, so it's very easy to manipulate or to misrepresent information in today's day and age. I think the biggest enemy of humanity today is misinformation, false information. I'm not even going to go deeper into that, because then, I will get super political, super religious, and super offensive. But the sort of controversial topic that I actually wanted to touch upon, and I don't know if I'm still iffy about talking about it because I'm, and it's not because I'm afraid people will unsubscribe or anything, because I've lost subscribers over the year. I mean, I used to say horns up, and there would be some Christian over there going, unsubscribe, you devil worshipper. Or I would, like, or the heavy metal music in the YouTube channel. Oh my god, what is that racket in the background? Yuck! Unsubscribe. So, uh, I'm hardly one to kind of be afraid of voicing my opinion or thoughts on something, because and here's the thing: if I'm wrong about something, I'm very happy to say I'm sorry, I was wrong, I apologize, I'm happy to learn and to know more. And I'm not necessarily here to win an argument and to prove somebody else wrong, but for me it's like, it's you have to be able to, yeah, like somebody said, be like, you have to have critical thinking, and people in general don't want to do that. And of course, yes, I don't want to paint all Christians with the same brush, obviously, but I mean, every, I mean, look, you could call it the keto police also. It's the same thing. It's just a different category of extreme intolerant people, so to speak. They come in all shapes and sizes. I'm sure I've had over the years, that is not keto, unsubscribe. So yeah, we've always had those kind of people. So okay, let's get a thumbs up if you want me to speak about the controversial thing that was on my mind, or thumbs down if you are like, just stick to happy thoughts. Thank you, Andy. I'm glad somebody is listening to my delicious aggregated blackened death metal riffage. Much appreciated. Thank you all so much. Yeah, and it's so strange, like, there'll be people in India who are like, like they teach their kids to say horns up and all, and on the other end of the world there's somebody getting offended because I said horns up, and it's like, okay, cool. And the funny thing is, for those who are actually not aware, horns up, this symbol actually, from whatever I have learnt, this is not the sign of the devil. Actually, this was used by Italian people to ward off the devil. This is actually to ward off the devil. It's just that heavy metal people, like some of them like to sing about the devil, and we like to do this to show our support for the music we love. Like, also, it's a hand gesture. You really think a hand gesture can damage things? Like, I mean, it's like saying thumbs up will like destroy the world. It's a hand gesture, like, hello. Okay, so did anyone successfully transition what? Anyway, okay, let's talk about the slightly controversial topic. And I say controversial because we are talking about keto. Okay. So somebody commented, I'm not going to get into who commented, but, and this is something that a lot of keto people will actually say as well. Sugar is evil, sugar is poison, wheat is poison, carbs are poison. And I did mention this in the previous video. I really think, people should not be dogmatic about food. At the end of the day, sugar is still food, flour is still food. People have eaten these ingredients for years and not fallen sick. I think, the first thing, obviously, I've said this before, not all food, like, so it's all food, okay? Let's not demonize food. But what we can do is we can categorize food. You can categorize food and say this food is nutritious, this food is not so nutritious. Because I come from I've been in the keto community for years now. How can you say that a McDonald's burger is evil, poison, processed garbage, but then think that it's absolutely healthy when you throw away the bun. Like, it doesn't work like that, you know. Um, like like people who went on about, oh, processed foods are evil, processed foods are evil, look at these 30 ingredients in the packet of chips and all these evil foods in the supermarket. And the next thing you know, all those evil foods all those evil foods are available in a keto version. Isn't that convenient? But now, because it's keto and you are doing keto, suddenly all the processed food is okay. Like, who makes these rules, right? So this person and a lot of other keto people will say sugar is evil, you know, flour is evil, pasta is evil. None of these foods are evil. What I would like to actually give you is a little perspective. Hang on, and bear with me, this might be a bit roundabout, not roundabout, but might be a little, we might have to just sort of take a little broader spectrum of things. In this world, whenever we have problems, the first solution is to blame whatever is, I would say, easy to scapegoat, maybe, you know. And this might offend some people more than the actual topic. For example, you know, the whole issue of people saying, oh, migrants take away your jobs, and people being racist towards migrants and hate crimes and all that. You realize the problem has never been, for example, the migrants. The easy thing to do for, say, the failing economy or for the lack of jobs is to blame migrants. You know, so people will get angry at the migrants rather than going to the politician's house, dragging the politician out of his house and kicking his ass for making false promises. You get what I'm saying? We point fingers at the wrong thing. Like, for example, in India, I again, you know, India has a lot of crimes against women, a lot of rape, lot of domestic violence, lots of terrible things happen in India still to date. And we had a big rape case that, you know, really shook the whole country. And again, what do you do when something like this happens? You try and identify the problem, which, if anyone is a critical thinker, if anyone has half a brain, they will realize that it is the problem of the way people are educated in this country. They are not taught about gender equality, they are not taught to respect women, they are not taught to, you know, like, to understand personal space, to like, just how to behave, right? The first trigger movement of the Indian government was to ban porn. Yes. So you see what I'm going at here. Like, when something bad happens, we always go to something that is maybe like 5% the reason, but it's not the actual cause of the problem. It is something that is born because the problem came from somewhere else. So why am I telling you all this in relation to food? Oh my god, whichever country, take any country. I live in India, I'm going to talk about India. Here comes another. So, for example, see, like, this gentleman is getting angry at me for saying India. He should be angry at the politicians who give a person like me the reason to actually talk about my country like this. See, that's what I mean. Like, we target all the wrong things. So, for example, if I say something bad about India here, people will be like, why are you talking bad about our country? I live here, it's my country, I'll talk about it. They should be pissed off at the politicians who have not lived up to their promises. And if they did their job, why would I say anything? I would be like, man, India is great. India is good. It has its good points. But like every country, we have our bad points. As does America, as does Russia, as does China, as does the UK, Europe, blah, blah, blah. That is not the point of this. Where I'm coming from is like, so this person said, we have people in the hospital with diabetes and heart problems because of sugar and flour. No, sugar and flour are the easy targets. Why do we have people here? Because we have allowed corporations and politicians to fail us time and time again. We have allowed politicians to be funded by food companies that engineer products to be addictive. There's nothing wrong with a tasty treat once in a while. But people are like you if you've there's a documentary I would have loved to share with you guys, but like big corporations fund so many things. They fund programs in school. They get like little kids addicted to their products with the amount of advertising they do. They make apps to like get into your head, and all this stuff goes unchecked. The government is responsible for our food problems. Why is real food so expensive? Why is fast food so much cheaper? There's nothing inherently wrong with you eating a McDonald's or a Domino's pizza once in a while, right? Now, the easy thing to do is say, oh, it's people's fault. People should watch what they eat. Or it's easy to say, carbs are evil, stay away from all carbs, right? It's much harder to say, you know what? This is a problem created because of bad laws, bad politicians who get funded by these companies and don't put restrictions on them. Like, there is no reason that fast food should be so cheap. Why are these companies given subsidies? Why are they not regulated better? Why are they allowed inside schools? I totally believe you should have the freedom to go out and get a Coca-Cola if you want. I wouldn't drink Coca-Cola if you paid me because it tastes like garbage. But if somebody wants it, they should. But at the end of the day, it should not be that that person goes to a McDonald's to feed their family because that is cheaper than going to a grocery store and getting a nice hot meal that is nutritious. And yes, obviously there is some level of personal accountability you have to take, but you cannot excuse the people in power who make the legislation. We talk about global warming, greenhouse gases and all that. It's very easy to say, oh man, people should eat less meat. Yeah, okay, people will eat less meat. And if it doesn't work, who's going to fine all the corporations that are creating all this pollution? Who's going to make them work towards being better? Right? You get what I'm saying, right? Like it's all money that moves these things, but the bigger things are what cause the mass of problems. Tomorrow, if we were able to legislate and make real food much cheaper than it is now, if the government gave subsidies to local farmers instead of giving subsidies to Coke and Pepsi and all these companies who they want in their country to start manufacturing or whatever, if you could do that, you would automatically see people buy less of this stuff. I believe there was a talk about having a tax on sugar, and certain products, if they have a certain amount of sugar in them, they should be taxed. And I think that's the way to do it, right? Like, rather than trying to say, oh, you should all watch out, and so much information. Governments don't educate the public. Companies are looking at every way to avoid telling people how, healthy or unhealthy their actual products are. So all these things, these factors, like companies can just put shit on their products like healthy, immunity boosting, and none of this stuff is proven. So who allows this? So that was my whole point, is like, yes, it is very easy to say let's blame one ingredient. Look, people in Thailand, in Japan, they use sugar and flour all the time. Most of their population is healthy. So obviously, the problem was not the carbs. Look at the people in France. They eat carbs, they eat fat, they eat meat. They never had like health problems. They're all super healthy. What has happened is we've come to a point in the world where there is too much food available, and there is too much high calorie, very addictive food. And when people don't have the right information, when they are constantly bombarded with information, like content, like they're constantly like made to feel like they're missing out. Like, so there was this documentary that I was watching. Now officially they had legislation. So I think in some country, in France or whatever, that you cannot advertise McDonald's and KFC and all these fast food places. You can't advertise to kids, Oreos and all these. And again, I won't even say these are evil foods. They are treats. They are things that should be eaten once in a while. If you do want to eat it, they're not meant to be part of your daily diet. So what happens is, in France they had legislation that these guys can't advertise to kids, but there was nothing stopping them from making apps, games, and all these kids, small kids, are downloading these apps and playing them with parental supervision. But the parents don't realize that the kids are constantly making a connection with that food and the app, and that app constantly makes them actually want to eat that food. And they actually, like, they've shown proper studies of this, and you can see, like, this mother took her kid to the doctor, and the doctor's like, your kid is playing this game, and she's like, but there's no branding of the there's no branding or no advertising in the app. But at the end of the app is like a Oreo cookie game, so the cookie is being thrown at things, and when you win like extra cookies and stuff. So that kid is sitting there playing the game, but he's constantly, like, he's that Oreo is embedded in his brain. So we're doing all these, like, there are all these things that are never regulated and checked. So my whole thing here is largely, look, the problem is up at the top, and we really, I know it's not going to make any difference. There are 100 of us here on this chat, and if 60 of you agree with me, I don't know how much 60 of us can do to change this world. But let's just hope that we don't, I don't know, lose sight of the bigger picture along the way. That's all. Hold the right people accountable. Like, don't guilt yourself for everything. Don't believe the burden of saving the world is solely on your shoulders. Hold the people accountable. And I guess the best thing we can do is be aware, and make sure that we are able to, in a nice, polite, informative way, educate our friends and family. Yes, at the end of the day, all you can do is tell your friend that, look, your kid is playing with an app that has a McDonald's logo in it, and your kid is associating the app with the food, and that's why he's going to ask you to take him to McDonald's more often, and you will end up in this bad cycle of feeding your kid junk food. And then what they do is their problem, but you can make the effort to politely and nicely explain to your family. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it's very scary seeing parents feed their kids McDonald's every, like, week, not even every week, like every 2-3 days and stuff. And I saw this documentary. I'll try and leave the link somewhere for this documentary. Like, I grew up eating Pepsi. Cut, retake. I grew up having a soda or pop. What do you guys call it in your country? We call it Coke here, or Thumbs Up, or yeah. I grew up where my mother would allow me once a week on a Saturday to have a Thumbs Up or a Pepsi or a Coke. I had no negative effects from it. I haven't grown up with any health problems because it was always in moderation. I could throw as many tantrums as I wanted, which I didn't do, by the way. But, like, I never got addicted to that stuff because we were always, my mom was like, okay, you can have it on the weekend. And we didn't have apps and games to keep us constantly, like, looking for Coke or Pepsi. We didn't have, like, the internet where we were constantly bombarded with food ads and things like that. So we were also less susceptible, I guess, to the advertising, because the only time we would see the adverts was if we went out on the street or if we watched TV, and we were also restricted, with the amount of television we watched. Like, you're allowed like 1 hour of television a day in the night. No phones, no tablets. So you played board games, you read a book, you went out and played cricket. And, like, I think I really appreciate that my mother did that, Like, so even after school, she would give us a cookie, or what we call in India biscuits. And it wasn't like, it was never a reward system, like, oh, you've been a good boy, you get to eat a cookie. No, this was like our after school snack. But we were always given 2 cookies. It was never like you can eat the whole packet of cookies. No, 2 cookies only. So I think I really got this sense of self-moderation in as well. Like, when I went to college for whatever little part of my life I did, and I would see somebody eat like an entire packet of cookies in one sitting, I would be horrified. I would be like, how are they doing that? Like, that's just so wrong, you know. Similarly with chocolate, like my mom would give me chocolate if I wanted after lunch or dinner or whatever, but I'd get two small pieces, you know. So it's like nuts. Cooper, actually, now that you mentioned Ronald McDonald, in Brazil, where there is no restriction on fast food companies advertising to schools, they actually have a Ronald McDonald going into schools and doing plays. Oh man, I really should find that video. Let me. I'll find it after this live stream, and I'll I'll put a pinned comment and I'll share that documentary. It's really an eye-opening kind of documentary, and I would definitely say you should totally like check it out. Okay, so that's my controversial topic for the day. And I'm sure if I've offended someone, they will unfollow me, which I'm okay with as well. I mean, life is too short to be worried by people who unfollow you. Mess Bowl Huda said, never understood why content creators beg for subscribers when YouTube revenue is based on views. Read somewhere that only 20% of your subscribers watch your videos consistently. So, switching gears a little bit, let's go to that. So, here's the deal, Mr. Huda. Here's the thing. So, when you have more subscribers, you have a bigger audience pool, and hopefully this audience is there for you and for your content. So what happens is, say you've got 100,000 subscribers, right? So your when you put out a new video, say 10% of your subscribers get a notification. That means you're looking at, say, 10,000 subscribers watching your videos. Now imagine you have 1 million subscribers, and again 10% of your subscribers get a notification that your video is online. You automatically have 100,000 subscribers who know that you have a new video. That is why people ask you to subscribe to their channel, so that more people are aware of their video and get a notification, and then eventually end up watching the video. Alright, I'm sure I've missed some interesting conversations, but I'm not going to get too deep into things. But yeah, so if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. How may I help you? Oh, here's the camera. I keep forgetting. Just me 77. I'm glad that you're close to your goal weight. Generally, what people do when they reach close and they're kind of plateaued, what you would want to do is maybe increase your cardio or lower your calories slightly, or be a little more strict with yourself. Nathan Thomas, that's awesome. I'm really glad that it's been working well for you. Thank you, Shirley. I really do appreciate it. And thank you all. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. You know, I have struggled with my YouTube channel for the last 3 years, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me that you guys have watched my videos consistently, and that you guys, are here watching me on a live stream. It's 97 of you, and I'm truly grateful for that support. Why does making salad make me so sad, but eating salad others make so good? I have no idea. Conspiracy theories, the great age of misinformation and disinformation. But that would be an extremely agitating conversation. So let's talk a little bit more about food. Maybe you guys have some pleasant things to share with me. How about telling me what was the most awesome food you recently ate? Like, what was the most awesome thing you have recently eaten? Right. All right. Some questions meanwhile. Have you checked out the protein sparing modified fast diet? I have not yet, but I am going to look into that soon. How many carbs do you cap yourself a day? Is it supposed to be 50 grams a day or 20 grams? Love the recipes. Hi Bondi. So unfortunately, I'm not on keto. Well, actually, it's not unfortunate. It's quite fortunate for me. But yeah, I'm not on keto, so I don't really check my carbs. But when I was on keto, I would keep my limit at 50 grams net carbs per day. But most days I would end up eating between 25 and 35 grams. That was my sweet spot. But I wouldn't stress out if I went up to 45 in a day. I never hit 50 in the day, but like if I had a day where I went to 45, it would not be a problem. I'm hooked on protein sparing modified bread. I will definitely look into this and see how interesting it sounds. Nice. It's good to see that you guys have had some good foods. All that stuff sounds absolutely delicious. Thank you, Ginger. I'm glad you're enjoying the recipes. Oh, wow. Lots of delicious food. I just finished dinner. Congratulations, Laura. That's awesome. Ultimate Star 16. That's awesome. Don't worry about it. Look, you can always lose that weight. It's not too much weight. All right, Jackie Chabria said, went from 90 kilos to 77, but when I stopped keto and started eating everything, went back to 86 kilos. What should I do? Jackie, I'm going to give you a quick bit of advice. One, focus on protein heavy meals. Okay. Two, add in some kind of exercise. And three, eat in a calorie deficit so that you lose weight. It's not difficult. You can do it. If you want to get sort of a step by step on how to do this, check out episode 1 of my unimpressive weight loss transformation. I teach you how to calculate macros and how to log and sort of calculate what you're eating in a day so that you can eat in a calorie deficit. Awesome. Thank you guys for the kind words. Um, it is right now 9:41 p.m. here in Mumbai city. Yeah. Thank you, Cat House on the Ridge. Yeah, like I said, guys, for me, it's I'm not here to police people uh, about their diets. As somebody who has done more than his fair share of diets, I know, and someone who loves food. Like, let's be real, I love good food, man, and I want to eat. I live to eat, and there's nothing wrong with that. As long as I can do it in a healthy, moderate way, I'm happy. That's what's the point of being miserable in life, eh? Yeah, obviously, if you got some health problems, make it work. I feel weighing food is a bit taxing, so should I do it as I have hit my plateau? Look, Ultimate Star, it is taxing. Let's not kid about it. But at the end of the day, I can promise you, 2 to 3 weeks to a month of tracking your food will yield results. And not only that, it will give you such a good perspective on how many calories are there in your food, so that when you stop doing that, you automatically know. You just know, like when someone puts, like 3 chapatis in your plate, you have it in your head, okay, cool, that's like, 150 calories, fab, I can afford it, I can manage it. Otherwise, right now, people just like put food in their plate, they have no idea how many calories is it, like, which is okay if you're if you've settled in on a certain weight, and you don't need to lose weight, and you're just eating intuitively, that's great. But if you're like, you need to get to a certain weight, yeah, you got to put in a bit of that effort, but it is worth it. You know, like I think for the last, what, I think 2 months on my journey, I've been oscillating between 69 and 70 kilos, but I have not been counting a single calorie. I can eyeball food and know, like, I'm overeating today or I'm not overeating today. Like, I just know it. So it's really like, you know, worth it for me to do that. What can I drink from alcohol on keto? So look, there are people who will do the low carb beers, which you can do. Some people do a glass of wine. Generally, I would say you're looking for whiskey, vodka, rum. Like, hard liquor is generally all right with some kind of a keto friendly mixer, or just water, or just on the rocks, like tequila. All these things are all keto friendly. Thank you, Chiranjeevi. Loved your channel before I switched to strict carnivore. Now I love the channel more. I'm extremely glad you do, and I'm forever grateful, guys. I keep saying it, and I hope you will always know that no matter what happens, yeah, I'm grateful. Will it throw me from ketosis? No, the alcohol won't throw you from ketosis, but there's always a problem. When people drink and they get high and then they make bad decisions like eating carbs, which throw them out of ketosis. So what's your opinion on Kunal Kamra? I think he's an awesome stand-up comedian, and a great political speaker, and somebody who says the shit that needs to be said. So I'm a fan of Kunal. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this guy in a timeout if he keeps. Bhai sahab, bhai sahab, bhai sahab, bhai sahab. By posting your comment multiple times does not mean I am more likely to see it. Bhai sahab, bhai sahab, bhai sahab. Oh boy, what is up with these? We always have one of these people here. Tribbles, I wish you all the best. Yeah, so if you drink the less sweet wine, that's always better for keto. Is MyFitnessPal the only good option to track still? I think there are other trackers as well, like Carb Manager, and I've heard of some other ones. I can't remember the names now, but yeah. Belinda, that's always a good thing to do every once in a while. Just take a check on whatever you're doing and make sure you're not, like, yeah, wavering too much. How can I find your ultimate journey? I am useless at counting. All you got to do is go to my channel and go to the playlist section. It's called My Unimpressive Weight Loss Transformation. Bestial Walla, Sahil, choose one: rotting Christ or septic flesh? Septic flesh. Got bored with keto and now gaining 3 to 4 pounds each week. Is it too late to go back on strict keto, or can I change it up some other way? Okay, Peter, I'm going to give you the same advice. So, obviously, right now you are eating more calories than you are burning. My recommendation is one: start writing down what food you eat so that you know how many calories you're consuming in a day. Eat in a calorie deficit and your weight will stop going up. Eat at maintenance and your weight will remain the same. Add some exercise in, because that will definitely help you to burn some more calories in a day, and it's just good for your health. So, for anyone, for anyone who is finding themselves like the weight is going up, or they're getting off keto, you need to actually just watch what you're eating. Like, obviously, when you stop doing keto, there is water weight that comes back, and water weight can be anywhere from 1 pound to like 5 pounds to even 7-8 pounds sometimes. So don't mistake water weight for fat gain. It's not fat. Whoops, almost broke my cup. Yikes. Okay, so Ultimate Star 16, I feel like my appetite is not too much and I don't eat much, but I feel my biggest issue is bad metabolism. Can you speak something about metabolism? I suffer from constipation for days. So, if you suffer from constipation, one, that means the weight that you have gained is basically shit and you need to poop it out. And once you poop it out, you'll weigh less. So, don't worry about that. Definitely see a doctor or a specialist for your constipation. Um, you know, as for the your metabolism, here's the thing, guys. This is, I guess, applicable for everyone who's doing keto or low carb or whatever. Here's the thing: whether you're counting calories or not, if you are losing weight, it means you are eating in a calorie deficit. Now, if you are eating in a very large calorie deficit, so for example, say you need 1500 calories a day and you are eating 800 to 900 calories a day, that is a very large calorie deficit. So you will initially lose weight, you'll burn through fat, and your body will be like, what are you doing? We are starving. And your body will start to lower your metabolism. Yeah, and metabolism is a number of things. You can look for more detailed explanation. But what happens is when you diet for too long, you actually drop your metabolism quite a bit, which is why when I talk about doing a calorie deficit now, I always suggest you do a small calorie deficit from the food part. So if you need 1500 calories a day, don't eat 1000 calories, eat 1300 calories, eat 1250, eat 1450, and create a deficit by exercise. So burn 200-300 calories by walking, running, swimming, jogging, dancing, whatever activity you like, go and do it and burn calories through that, so that your metabolism doesn't slow down over the long term. Also, if you are going to diet, there are times where you need to stop dieting and eat at maintenance so that your body can sort of get used to that that space, that, and your metabolism doesn't like go lower and lower. So if you've been dieting for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and starving yourself, yeah, your metabolism is going to slow down. But otherwise, most of the time, your metabolism is fine. A lot of people, honestly, they just think like their metabolism is broken or not right because they're just doing something else that's wrong. But the truth is, most people's metabolism, I'm not saying also if you have gone to a doctor and he's told you your metabolism is messed up, I'm not disputing that. But I'm saying a lot of people basically, they don't know if their they just say their metabolism is like messed up, but it's not actually messed up. Huzaifa, if you are doing OMAD, you still need to find out calories the same way. Guys, no matter what your diet is, there's a simple calorie calculator online. I've linked it in the first episode of my unimpressive weight loss transformation. You can definitely go calculate your calories. Remember, this is not an exact number, it is a ballpark figure, but it is good enough to get you started. So please. A. Mavish, thank you so much for buying a Headbangers Kitchen t-shirt. I really do appreciate it. I'm super grateful. And to all of you who have bought Headbangers Kitchen t-shirts or my book or my coffee mug or anything, thank you so much. Yes, I have also read a lot about the reverse diet period. Yes, that is also something you can follow. Again, things like reverse diet work for people who have been dieting for a really long period of time. Most people, if they've dieted for 2-3 weeks and then try this reverse dieting, it's all wrong. It's like people who say, can I do cyclic keto? And most of the time they actually just want to cheat on the weekend. So, this cyclic keto and all, these are all very functional things. Like they're there for like people who know what they are doing, with that diet. Hormones play a big part in metabolism too. It's not all calories in, calories out. Again, your hormones are regulated by your body. If you are, I don't even know where to go with this. Like a lot of people, will say my hormones, but your problem is your over consumption of calories, which made you obese, which put you in this position, and that obesity caused your hormones to go all out of whack. And whichever way you look at it, whether you're doing keto, fasting, whatever, all these things that result in you losing weight are simply a calorie deficit, which in turn fixes your hormones because your body starts to regulate and balance out once it is no longer in the obesity category. Like as your body starts to heal, your hormones also start to regulate better, unless you have some actual medical condition which has been diagnosed. Butter will bring up calories? Of course it will. Butter is 120 calories per 15 grams. How do you have portion control? I get my plate out, I put my plate on a weighing scale, I put my food in and I know how much I'm eating. And when I finish my lunch, I stop eating, I drink a glass of water, I'll eat a little fruit, and I'm done. Also, it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell the brain that it's full. So, if you're slower with your food, you'll actually find that you probably get full. As opposed to if you wolf down your food in like 5 minutes, then you feel hungry because you've not given your stomach time to even digest and like tell the brain that bhai sahab or sir, I'm full. Yes. Yeah, again, like fair point. Like that's why I said, like for a lot of people it's just easier to do keto or carnivore because you can be in that calorie deficit without having to count anything or weigh out anything. So fair game on that. Somebody wanted to know about marijuana. Always. Why is there always somebody who wants to know my opinion on marijuana? But yeah, okay. So I mean, my opinion is you should. Here it is. Yes, I think you should legalize marijuana and you should tax it. I unfortunately have not had the best experiences with people on marijuana, so I'm not very fond of marijuana myself, but you should definitely legalize it since people are doing it anyway. A Mavish, what are your thoughts on intuitive eating? Constantly counting and measuring calories can be triggering for people with eating disorders. So I will never tell someone with an eating disorder to count calories. If you have a eating disorder and you are aware that you have a eating disorder, go to a therapist, get help. Yeah. So very simple, guys. Nobody who has an eating disorder should count their calories till they go and see a therapist. Do you do intermittent fasting? I've done it from time to time. I still use it occasionally as a tool to balance my calories. I look like a stoner. From what angle? Obviously, somebody has got a stereotype. Do you get smart popcorn in India? No, we don't get smart popcorn. Also, honestly, I'd just rather eat a ham sandwich than eat popcorn. Do you have tips on doing veggie keto? Yes, I've got a whole series on vegetarian keto. I've got vegetarian keto vlogs. My entire website has a vegetarian section. So, go for it. Taking protein shake on veg keto with no gym physical activity is a good option or not? Ayush, honestly, if you're struggling to get in your protein, yes, then take it. If you're able to eat enough eggs, paneer, tofu, then you don't need it. I love that you guys are conversing with each other as well. That's pretty cool, I think. I got fed up of keto and became vegetarian for a month. All the weight is back. Simply Art by Ritu Kamath. Ritu, I just did a week of vegetarian non-keto dieting and yeah man, I was hungry all the time. So here's my suggestion to you, Ritu. Try and include more protein in your diet and eat in a calorie deficit. The problem with most vegetarian food is it's very high in carbs. So a lot of and the funny thing in India is vegetarians don't actually like vegetables. Like vegetarians constantly just eat cheese and paneer and like all the junk, that's why so many of them are so unhealthy. But if you're vegetarian, if you can focus more on protein, you will definitely find that you can lose weight being vegetarian. I have no idea who Nora Get Gaudas is. Well, look, if somebody wants to be vegetarian, I got no problems. Please be vegetarian. It's fine. It's all about balance. The universe will balance itself eventually. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really believe in all that stuff. Peter, I actually don't properly know what the Mediterranean diet is actually, but I would recommend you do whatever diet you can see yourself doing till the day you die. I think that is the best way to look at things, you know. Yeah. All right. Will DR ever go for live shows again? I can't say. Not till maybe 2023 or 2024. I counted my calories, 1600 calories per day. So how much calories take in one day meal? Intermittent fasting. Please tell. I'm so confused. Josefa, if you have counted your calories, the 1600 is what you need, or is the 1600 what you're eating right now? It's very simple. Josefa. Whoops. Okay, are we back? Lana Phelps, thank you so much. Keto Grandma, you're awesome. All right, ideas for new videos. I'm doing my Friday weight loss vlogs, and I do keto recipes on Monday. I've got a few cool recipes coming up. What's your favorite fiber source? Fruits, vegetables, all of them. I find eating out so difficult on keto, special occasions like birthdays, etc. Yes, it is difficult, but you know what? You can skip a meal, skip a keto meal if it's not too much of a stress for you, and just go back to keto the next day. I definitely, think you should get enough sleep. I think sleep is vital for your body being at its best. But if you're a night owl, that's not really a problem. At the end of the day, it is calories in, calories out. What are my thoughts on vegans protesting against making a complete ban on dairy products in the near future and educating people? Oh, bapre. I couldn't care less, man. Like, there are too many problems in the world to care about vegans protesting. Have you tried yoga for exercise? Nope. I'm not a fan of yoga, so I legit I can't even like find even this much motivation to try yoga. For me, I like lifting weights, I like walking, and I like playing the drums, so I stick to that. Sans89, how many cheat days meals could be done on keto if you are 2 months into the diet? Honestly, look, if in any diet you are talking about cheating, that maybe that's not the diet for you, because this is what happens to everybody I see. If and this is me also, like if you think about cheating, like if you're like, when can I cheat on my diet? Like, do you cheat on your marriage? If you get married to someone, do you like, when can I cheat with some random person? No, right? You commit to them and you're like, I love my husband, wife, circle, friend, whatever. Taken from Greg Doucette. So if your diet is not something you are going to be able to sustain, maybe you need to rethink your diet. Like, I am genuinely saying this. Like, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying think about it. Why are you doing this diet if you have and if you've done it for 2 months and you're still looking to cheat, obviously you are finding like something that is not right. Like you're like, I need to not do this for whatever purpose. So for example, like on my current diet, there is nothing called cheating. I can eat a full cake in one sitting if I want, and it is not cheating. Why? It's just not. It's not called cheating. There's no cheating in my diet, and I can do this till the day I die. That doesn't mean I go out and eat junk and make myself sick, just FYI. It just means my mindset is different. My mindset is that, you know, I'm doing something that I can do till the day I die, which is portion control, which is moderation. And if, for example, that's why I say I don't call it cheating. If I have something that comes up, I have a party at home and I have a few drinks, or I go to a friend's house and I overeat, there's no cheating, there's no guilt, there's nothing. I'm just like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, I'll just eat watermelon for breakfast today instead of eating a sandwich. Simple, you know. So it's just, I find like, if for a lot of people, like, going off keto and cheating on keto is not even like, it's not there in their head. It's just like, I eat keto, and like when I go to a friend's house, I just tell them I can't eat bread. It's like how a vegan says I can't eat any animal products. Like, vegans don't cheat and say like, oh, I'm not going to eat, oh, I'm going to my friend's house, so I'm suddenly going to eat meat. No, they're like, frick it, I'll eat vegan whenever, all the time. Or even, for example, carnivore, like they'll just be like, I eat meat all the time, that's my meat thing. So, like in India especially, like you have these pure vegetarians and vegetarians who won't touch meat, even if they go to a meat eater's house, right? Because that's their lifestyle. They just cannot eat anything else. So it's the same with keto. If you're doing keto, it should it should be like, it's not even a thing. Like, I'm going to somebody's house. Yeah, I like, imagine if you were deathly allergic to peanuts. You wouldn't eat peanuts, right? You'd not be like, oh, let me cheat on my allergy today so I can go to the emergency room. Your diet should be like that. You should feel like that on your diet. Like, that's the vibe. I mean, but hey, if you are like some kind of person who's got a plan in place, don't let me stop you. If you want to just try keto and see if it's the lifestyle for you, go for it. What herbs would you recommend for appetite control and digestion? Nothing. I would just say eat good meals, put the herbs in your meal, and if you eat a satiating meal that is well balanced, you should not have appetite control issues. A lot of times your appetite comes from here and not actually from here. She shook me all night long. And look, you know what? It's okay to try a diet. It's okay to fail at a diet. And it's okay to realize that it's not the diet for you. It's fine. Everybody's got to find out. Some of us need to make mistakes to learn. Some of us are happy to take somebody else's warning. It's completely up to you. I'm a person that has to try everything once, which is why I do all the stupid stuff on my channel. And you see me eating potato diet, military diet, all these crazy things. Yash, I don't think I will be live on the DR channel anytime soon, but hopefully we will have some news for you, and I will definitely be happy to at some point do this live stream that you're asking for. I love talking about music, but unfortunately there are 5 people who want to listen to me talk about music, and there are 110 people who want to hear me talk about keto and food. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Do we have too many buggers here? Normally there are not too many buggers on my live stream, so I'm okay. And I have 2-3 moderators, but they're not here today. Sahil, any reason you're not doing intermittent fasting? I like breakfast. Simple. I like breakfast. I feel like eating breakfast when I wake up now. For many years, I didn't eat breakfast. I think for most of my time on keto, I was doing intermittent fasting. And it worked for me at that time, but now I just enjoy 4 meals a day. Like, I'm happy with that setup. It works for me, And again, like I said, for me, intermittent fasting is a tool. If I've had a, super fun night with my friends and I've eaten too much food and had a few drinks, the next morning I'll just skip the breakfast if I want to, Like, okay, I love my coffee more than I love anything else except my wife. My wife is number one, then my music, then my coffee. Probably, yeah. What about whole cumin seeds? Why are they so popular in your area? Well, because they make everything taste delicious. They add flavor to your food, you know. And of course, it's got, look, all these spices, herbs, they have good micronutrients that are healthy for you, but like they taste delicious, they're great flavor components to your food, and they're healthy, so why not, right? What type of workouts worked for you being on keto? Well, for most of my keto journey, I didn't work out. In fact, I did keto because I hated working out and I thought I could lose weight on keto without exercising. And then I realized that, man, exercise has so much more stuff to it than just, like it's not just a vanity metric or something. So, yeah, I just started exercising like maybe 2 years into my keto journey. How many grams of meat can be eaten in a meal? As much as you want. The thing is, all these questions are very specific to you. Like if you are a woman who is 5 feet tall and your calorie requirement is 300 calories, for example, for a meal, 100 grams of chicken breast is 286 calories. So maybe you want to stick to 100 grams. But if you're a 6 foot man and you need 600 calories during a meal, maybe for you 200 grams of chicken breast is important. So like all these, like how much of so much should I eat cannot be answered generically. You have to calculate your calorie and macro requirement, and then only can you make your plans. That's why I would suggest you guys watch my Keto 101 series, which can be applied to non-keto diets as well. Sahil, do you drink whey protein shakes? I have one bag of whey protein and it's taken me 6 months to go through. I do not enjoy whey protein. Sometimes. But it's okay, it's not your fault, it's mine. Actually, no, it's not even my fault, it's nobody's fault. Thank you, Nicole. Much appreciated. Dum, 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 dum. Okay, let me give you an example. The average woman needs about 45 to 50 grams of protein in a day. The average man needs about 50 to 60 grams of protein in a day. This is just to survive and to live and to be alive. If you want to build muscle, you ideally want to get 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal. How much is that? 100 grams of chicken breast has 31 grams of protein. Now take that information and use it and make it work for you. So, in your experience, which diet works best for you? I think my current diet works best for me, which is eating everything in moderation and focusing largely on protein and nutritious whole foods. I guess I've always loved whole foods because I'm a chef and I like making things from scratch. I like eating whole foods. I'm not a big fan of things that come in cartons and jars. I mean, except for stuff like, like olives and sun-dried tomatoes and, that kind of fancy stuff. Yeah, that's my jam. But having said that, it is really a privilege to be financially at a place where you can actually buy good quality food. And I said this earlier during my controversial subject discussion. It is extremely unfair that we live in a world where eating fruits and vegetables and meat, real foods, is actually more expensive than buying garbage food. Let's just say that. Like, the not so nutritious food, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I am not a rock star. I'm a musician, a death metal musician. Wait, I'm a death metal musician. Anurag, I think you should fight with your parents and tell them to let you cook meat and eat it. Tell them that they also need to start eating meat because they are lacking in protein. But if they're not allowing you to do that, you can get soya chunks which have like a lot of protein. But again, like with everything, you don't want to eat it in excess, or you can just buy protein powder and just have a good protein shake. Nicole, I have done a video on alternate day fasting where I actually tried alternate day fasting for a week. And of course, you lost weight on alternate fasting because alternate fasting is literally starvation. It is dropping your calories severely low, and at some point, it is going to slow down your metabolism, you know. So definitely be careful. There are many benefits to fasting, yes, but again, prolonged fasting will also at some point have a negative impact on your metabolism. What are your thoughts on Rujita Diverkar? I have no idea who she is and I have no opinion on her. Baphomet, should you do keto if you have a stressful life? I see no reason why you should not do keto if your life is stressful, but I definitely think you should work at de-stressing yourself. Life is too short to be stressed out. Baphomet, I really wish you all the best and I hope you can get rid of some of the stresses in your life. Dum 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 dum, can touch this. Dum 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 dum, can touch this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a great deal of money has been invested in this project and we can't allow it to fail. You guys must think I'm on some drugs. I can understand why people keep asking me if I take marijuana, because I probably do things like this on the live stream. Have you found any mental health benefits being on keto? No, not personally. Sahil, will we be lucky enough to witness DR Europe tour in the near future? Not before 2023 or 2024, unfortunately. What's a miracle if life itself is not? Experiencing hair loss from keto. That is quite possible because you are losing weight most likely and your body is rejecting, like it, your body is getting rid of stuff that it doesn't really need. So it's not uncommon to experience hair loss on keto. You can try adding in a few more carbs to slow it down. Did you gain weight when you came off keto? Right, so I seem like I keep repeating this. Okay, here is what I suggest. If you are planning to stop doing keto, you are going to gain water weight when you stop keto. I recommend very strongly that you calculate your calories and macros and you start eating at maintenance calories when you come off keto, and then you will not gain anything more than the water weight. Jolly Pradhan, when I try to skip dinner, it is quite difficult. So how do I do it? Don't do it. If you don't want to skip dinner, do not skip dinner. You do not need to skip meals to lose weight. You can skip meals if you want to, but there is no compulsion. Makai Smith, that's because a lot of people are vegetarian at home, but their kids go out of the house and eat meat. Can you sing a Hindi song for us, please? I'm sorry, I cannot sing a Hindi song. I'm not a fan of Hindi songs and I don't really sing Hindi songs. Can we eat McDonald's India bunless burger? No, McDonald's India does not have like beef burgers like in the US, so they have everything that's pretty much breaded and crumb fried. So please do not go to McDonald's in India or anywhere else in the world. It is terrible food, it tastes like garbage, and it is just garbage. It is not nutritious, it is not worth it, it's not worth the calories, it's not worth it. It's not even a company that's worth supporting. It is such a garbage company with such crappy morals and ethics. Do not eat McDonald's food. Do not eat Domino's. Do not eat KFC. Do not eat from any of these fast food places. Not because the food is evil, not because the food is going to make you fat, which it might if you overeat, but because they are terrible companies. They work for profit and not for the good of people. They don't even work with the motto of good food. You know what I'm saying? Like if McDonald's motto was we make tasty burgers, they'd still have good burgers. But their thing is, how can we make the cheapest crappiest tasting, plastic tasting burgers and make the most amount of money. That's why you don't go to McDonald's. You should do a heavy metal cooking channel. This is the heavy metal cooking channel. Have you watched The Founder? I don't think I have. Oh my God, Josefa, by repeating the question does not mean I'm going to answer it. Though I did answer your questions, I don't understand why you're still repeating them. Thank you, Sasa GKD. Thank you for being on this live stream. Wow, I've been here for 80 minutes. Damn, son. Sahil, is beef easily available in India or is it a struggle? I get water buffalo, which is exactly like beef, and it's legal. So, how does one transition of keto? Please check out, okay, never go back to your old diet. Yes, if you're doing keto because you were putting on weight or because you got fat, because you had a problem, that means your old diet was wrong. So, you cannot go back to your old diet. I repeat, under no circumstances go back to your old diet, because your old diet is the reason you are fat and doing keto. So, if you are planning to go off keto, you need to make a new diet. One that is not going to kill you, two that's not going to make you fat, three that's going to make you healthy. So, pick a new diet, one that is focused on good nutritious food, high in protein probably, and yeah, not too many calories, because at the end of the day, it's the calories. You know, I've always wondered why people say that many musicians smoke weed. I don't think that's actually true. Many people in this world smoke weed. I don't know. I guess musicians are probably more open about smoking weed. That's why, people think musicians smoke weed all the time. Because I remember, for as long as I can remember, like everyone I know smokes weed. Like whether they are a businessman or an actor or a plumber or a sound engineer or whatever the job is, pilots, all of them smoke weed. All of them try drugs and different things. So like, I don't understand why specifically musicians. I think people who are in the arts, like musicians, painters, sculptors, like all these creative people are probably more open about the smoking, whereas everyone else is like, better make sure my boss doesn't catch me smoking this joint, otherwise I'm gonna get fired from the hedge fund. The hedge fund, I make like billions and trillions of dollars in the hedge fund. You know, Snoop Dogg in the house. Whew. Okay then. Susan, that's awesome. Like I said, do what works for you always, Forget what everybody else is doing. Try every diet to make you feel the best you can feel and stick with what works for you. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah, I don't like smoke either. I hate all kinds of smoke. I have no friends because everybody smokes cigarettes. So I can't really hang out with anybody. Because everyone wants to smoke all the time. Why do people smoke cigarettes? It's the most disgusting thing. Anyway, I have been online for almost 1.5 hours. That is a long time to be on the internet. So here's my thing, guys. Before my voice fails me and everything else, let's take a last few questions and I'm going to wrap up this live stream. And I once again want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me jibber jabber. Thank you for subscribing, watching my videos. Thank you for buying my merchandise, my cookbook. Thank you for your super chats, for whatever you do for Headbanger's Kitchen. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to answer a couple of more questions and we will then say good night because it is night time here. And I'm going to go binge watch some crappy shows. And am I the only person who watches some really bad shows on Netflix in 1.5x speed and scrolling through the entire episode? Because I literally finished a 52-minute episode in 10 to 12 minutes. Is your cookbook available in the UK? Yes, it's available worldwide. And below every video in the description box, you will find a link to purchase the cookbook, as well as everything else. Thank you, Cooper613. I appreciate it. Thank you, Shirley, very much. And guys, just remember, I have always said this, I will never tell anyone what they should or should not eat. You're all grown ass men and women and children and whatever else, and you can do whatever you want. What are you watching? I am watching possibly the worst American show I've ever seen. It's called Salvation. Like, it started out promising and it went all wrong. It got cancelled after 2 seasons, so... But surprise, surprise, it had the actress in it who played Brooke from Bold and the Beautiful's daughter. So I got like a flashback to my childhood when my mother used to watch Bold and the Beautiful and Santa Barbara, and I would like sit with them and watch it. Nuts. And I can't believe Bold and the Beautiful still runs on the air. Like, how many years is that? How old is that show? It's nuts. Good, glad to know I'm not the only one. Bestial Wallust, you can find Demonic Resurrection merch. The links are on the Demonic Resurrection Facebook page. We've got a merch store in America, in Europe, in India. So wherever you want to order from, yeah, we can continue. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate it. Thank you, Julia, as well. Once again, thank you. You're all very nice people. Can you please recommend herbs and spices to speed up diet? Do people not listen to my answers? I literally said there are no herbs and spices specifically for your digestion and metabolism. What do you think about the new Wonder Years? Wait, there's a new Wonder Years? What? No, I do not know about that. Oh my god, I better look into this. I couldn't do Full House reboot, but Wonder Years I could get on board with. I wouldn't mind if they did a Doogie Howser reboot. That would be interesting. Neil Patrick Harris, 20 years later, 40 years later, how old is he now? The guy's a dude. Okay, then if we have no more questions, I'll give you 10 seconds to type out a question if you have one. Sadly, no Hulu in India yet. I would have loved to check out that show, The Handmaid's Tale. I think that's the one. Yeah, I was just like, what? There's a new Wonder Years? What? Oh, guys, did you know this? Marv, I want to say Marv from Home Alone. Marv. Harry. Marv from Home Alone, the bad guy, he's the narrator of the Wonder Years. I did not know that. Uma, you have to ask a question for me to answer. How can I answer if I don't know the question? What's your next meal? Breakfast tomorrow, probably just some watermelon. If you don't ask the question, how can I answer? If you don't ask the question, how can I answer? Recipe for Yorkshire pudding. I haven't got one yet. Have you been to Portugal? I haven't, but my wife has been and she said she had the best churros in Portugal. Okay, I think there are no more questions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I am now going to bid you farewell. It's been an absolutely fabulous evening. I wish you all a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday with a brand new keto recipe. Until the next episode, cheers and keep cooking.